So recently I've made a lot of reactions to Australian culture, Australian lifestyle, but one thing that I thought that I hadn't really looked at in any great detail was Australian food. So I thought this would be an interesting video. This is 10 Australian foods you must try, and I thought that would be good to find out a bit more about Australian food. For me, I think that maybe Australia is very similar to the UK in that the cuisine is very diverse. You know, when I was brought up in Scotland, in the UK, I ate every type of cuisine. I think it's very different to somewhere like here in Malaysia, where people who grow up in Malaysia probably eat 80 or 90% Malaysian food, whereas growing up in the UK, it's you eat Italian, Chinese, Indian, Thai, whatever. I think it's probably similar in Australia. Tell me if that's right or wrong, but I'm really interested to know more about Australian food itself, so let's check this out.
Barramundi. This is the most popular fish in Australia. You can find it just about every Australian restaurant around the country, especially those that serve seafood. And there are a few ways you can eat it, but it's best pan-fried or seared skin side first. You won't find this too often battered and deep fried, although fish and chips is a popular food in Australia as well. So if you are a seafood fan and you want a really nice fish dish to try in Australia or in a restaurant, then go with the Barramundi, because this really represents Australian fish at its best.
Okay, that's interesting actually. Yeah, so tell me more about that. Is barramundi a good fish? Is seafood very popular? And obviously, when you see the map of Australia, the videos I've watched, it's all the towns are coastal, so I would imagine the seafood is very fresh and very very good. So tell me more about that, and tell me what you think about Australian fish and chips. If you've ever tried British fish and chips, how do they compare?
Number 2, fairy bread.
Oh, fairy bread. This is what I wanted to know more about.
Foods in Australia. It's actually more like a snack. These are slices of bread that are cut triangularly, topped with butter, and covered with what's called hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, hundreds and thousands.
Which
yeah,
are
man.
Small specks of sprinkles. Thus, you get the most colorful toast you'll ever eat.
Okay, tell me more about this. Is this how it looks? Is it just normal bread? How thick is the butter? This looks quite thick. I think this is something I could make. I've got hundreds and thousands in the cupboard, but this is what I seen on a previous video. I seen someone mention fairy bread, and I wanted to find out more. I wanted to know what it was. I didn't know. It looks delicious to me, actually.
You'll see it especially at many kids' parties, and
that's
it's
for
easy
kids.
to make. In fact, you could probably make it at home as well. But if you insist on eating it in Australia, then hey, it's probably worth the experience.
It looks good.
Number 3, hamburger with
yeah, this is what I wanted to know more about too.
We all know hamburgers. It's popular, especially in the US. So what makes the Australian version?
Okay, so I thought actually when they said hamburger with beetroot, it was like a burger patty with pickled beetroot on top. This looks like a beetroot burger. Are they both right, or is one right or one wrong?
And so different. It's really the beetroot that is placed in the burger, along with the local Aussie beef patty. You also got the bun and the cheese, of course. So if you're into hamburgers or cheeseburgers, you should definitely try the Australian version. It's really one of the most popular foods that you'll find all over Australia, so don't miss out on this, burger fans.
Yeah, that one I would definitely try, because I think I mentioned on a previous video, I love pickled things. I like pickled jalapenos, pickled gherkins, anything pickled I love. That's why I like Korean food. They always have a lot of pickled things. But pickled beetroot, they sell that in the UK. I've eaten that since I was a young child. That was one of my 5 a day that my mum and dad used to put on my dinner plate. Pickled beetroot, I always loved it, but I've never tried it on a burger, but I know that would be good already.
Number 4, kangaroo.
Kangaroo meat, yeah.
This is the national animal of Australia, as some of you guys might know. So why not eat it as well?
That looks good.
Not too many of us are accustomed to eating kangaroo meat, but it's quite a nice thing to have in Australia, and quite common. You can find it in many markets in the country, and in restaurants, of course. It tastes great as barbecue, usually on the medium rare side. I wouldn't recommend eating it well done, as it could dry out fast.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So if you are an adventurous eater and want to try some kangaroo meat, then Australia is the place to do it.
I think it looks amazing in those photographs.
Lamington.
Lamington, yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Referred to as the national cake of Australia. It is a square-shaped sponge cake coated in a layer of chocolate and coconut shavings.
Ooh.
Sometimes it has jam in the middle as well. You'll find these in many cafes and dessert shops in Australia.
That's making my mouth water.
It's really wonderful to have with some coffee and tea. So if you had to pick one cake-like food to eat, then go with the Lamington. Great snack, great cake. It's very delicious. It's really one of my favorite Australian foods and snacks. Go for it.
Yeah, that one, man. I've got a sweet tooth. I love cakes. That looks right up my street. I think the only time I think I've seen it is on like a Great British Bake Off before or something like that. I've never tried it because I don't think I've ever seen it for sale anywhere actually. But maybe I'll try and find that in Malaysia. Find that in Kuala Lumpur. See if I can try it. But it looks super tasty.
Number 6.
Ooh,
meat pies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everyone
also
in Australia knows about the meat pies. It's a food that is great for any occasion, and you'll find them in many Australian cafes and pastry shops. It's even eaten at sporting events in Australia. It's as it sounds. A thick, flaky, and crispy layer of pie crust, and inside is the marinated meat and sauce.
That looks too good.
It's baked, of course, and out comes the crispy and savory pie, usually best eaten with tomato sauce spread on top. So if you like meat pies, try the Australian version. It's so savory, so delicious. Really great Australian comfort food at its best.
That one is already... I absolutely love pies. That's what I miss about living in the UK. Living in Malaysia, the pies are just not up to that same standard. Not that I found anyway. But a meat pie, nothing can compare to that. And they say they sell it at sporting events. They do that in the UK as well. At football, you get your pie. For me, the only thing I would change is not tomato sauce. We have brown sauce, like HP sauce. That's what I have on my pie, but...
Number 7.
Both good.
Pavlova.
Oh, Pavlova, yeah, I forgot that's from Australia.
This dish was invented by New Zealand or Australia. But whatever the case, it's a well-known food in
Where's it from? Tell me in the comments.
It's a meringue dessert where the crust is crispy and the inside is soft. It's decorated at times with whipped cream and fruits, especially if it's for special occasions. There are quite a number of desserts you can try in Australia, but if you want to go with something that's pretty big and filling, then Pavlova is the way to go.
Yeah, I've had Pavlova before.
Maybe if you're in a restaurant,
I think my mum's made it before actually.
Birthday cake on your next special occasion.
Oh yeah.
Number 8, sausage rolls.
Yeah, man.
If you try the meat
Aussie food is so good.
You also got to try the sausage rolls. It's made in a similar fashion in that instead of the meat filling, you have the sausage filling underneath the pastry. It's crispy on top and so savory because of the sausage meat inside.
This is just making me hungry.
Maybe you've tried sausages before, but you've never had them in pastry form. Then why not start here with Australian cuisine, sausage roll, another one of the great comfort foods of Australia.
Yeah, man, I am already sold. Pies and sausage rolls there is popular in the UK as well. We have like Greggs, which is like this high street bakery that gets a bit of a bad reputation, but I'm not going to complain. I'll just go for, living in Malaysia, going back to eating Greggs is like eating high class food for me, or when it comes to things like pies and sausage rolls. But pies, sausage rolls, finish off with some Pavlova or Lamington. Come on, can you actually get better than that?
Number 9, barbecue snacks.
Snacks?
This is another term for sausages. It's especially popular as barbecue, which is worth mentioning. Australian barbecue is known for its many choices of meats, and one of them you should try is the sausage. It's thin and long, made of beef or pork, and marinated with spices from all around the world. And it is oftentimes eaten in a roll or bread with your favorite sauce, kind of like an American hot dog. So try some snacks today, especially if you are a sausage fan.
Man. I'm a fan of snacks.
Number 10, Vegemite.
Vegemite, yeah.
Another one of the great foods of Australia. It's this thick, dark, brown paste that can be enjoyed for...
It's an actual veggie knife. I've never seen that before. That's actually quite interesting. Actually, I feel like I might just try this at the weekend. I might try to go and see if I can find Vegemite in Kuala Lumpur, make a video, tell me the exact... I know it's very like, there's like specific ways to make it. Please tell me in the comments the best way to eat it.
Like breakfast, lunch, or tea time. You take the spread and put it on top of the toast. Spread it around nicely and you have what's equivalent to American peanut butter toast, but of course with a much different taste. This is as Australian as it gets. So if you like toast and you want to try an awesome snack that is well known all around Australia, then Vegemite on toast is something that you definitely need to try. Well, there you go with the...
Okay, man. I'm sold on Australian food, but the Vegemite is the one I got to try. Like, so tell me more about that. What's the best way to make it? I might actually see if I can find some of these in here in Kuala Lumpur, make a video just eating Australian food and Australian cakes, see what I can do. But tell me what your favourite from all of those is. Tell me if there's any other Australian food that wasn't on that list that should be. Thanks.